So obviously Jenny's freaking out now, and she wants to know what else Tom may have messed with. She goes to the computer area, and it appears that Tom has taken a hard drive, a bunch of files from their filing cabinet, and transferred a bunch of money out of a PayPal account. And obviously Jenny's breaking down here, so I feel very bad for her. Hi, I'm Ray Arcade. Welcome to my channel. The last time we were at the Jersey Shore house, Ronnie was whining and complaining that Sammy wasn't the same girl that she was before he cheated on her. Jenny ran into an old friend named Roger, and Snooki got arrested for being drunk in public. What will happen next? Take my hand as we find out on this Jersey Shore retrospective. Today, we are covering Season 3, Episode 4, called Free Snooki, and it premiered on January 20th, 2011. And make sure you stick around to the end of the video where I will be reading one of your comments from my previous video. Let's get into it. We open on Jenny and Dina back at the shore house after Snooki got carted away in the back of a police car for being drunk and disorderly in public. And they're calling Snooki's dad to let him know what happened so he doesn't find out from somewhere else, because I don't know, there was like, I don't know if you saw in the scenes, there was like a bunch of people around. So I assume the news of Snooki getting arrested was probably online within like 10 minutes. Jenny then calls her boyfriend Tom about Snooki's arrest.
Hi.
I apologize for not calling.
Okay. Why?
They just arrested Nicole
For what?
for being drunk and an idiot.
So she got arrested today. Okay, so then what the happened last night?
No.
I got fucking important enough for a phone call.
I knew that was gonna happen. That's why I didn't want to call him.
This interaction is just uncomfortable to watch. Like, on one hand, Jenny wants to put in no effort into their relationship, but still wants Tom to comfort her. On the other hand, apparently Tom had become insanely abusive, so do I blame her? No. But on the other hand, Jenny seems like she's been a terrible girlfriend since season 1 before any abuse allegations had come out. So from what I recall, Tom had gotten more possessive and more abusive the more famous Jenny got. I mean, she was nobody in season 1. She still cheated on him, so I don't know.
Is that real?
I don't know. Look it up. I don't know.
Where'd you read that?
I don't know. I mean, somewhere online. I don't know if it's true.
The house gets a call that Snooki can go home, so they go to pick her up from jail. I think she was only in jail for like a couple of hours, but she gets home, she calls her dad. He reminds me of my dad. He gives her a very East Coast father talking to.
You need to understand what you're doing to yourself and your body, and you should not put yourself in that position, Nicole.
It's not like I killed someone.
Listen, you should bury your head in the sand with embarrassment.
All right, well...
Get your together, girl.
Okay.
I swear on my father, Nick, the next time I will get in the truck and come down and your ass out, and it will be done. And I mean done.
Snooki resolves that she doesn't want to go out anymore and get wasted. We'll see how long that lasts. Jenny and Snooki are having a conversation that night about Snooki's drinking. Jenny says,
So
Do you want me to be blatantly honest?
Yeah.
I think you need to find love, and you'll try and find it in anyone, and like you'll make guys that aren't good enough for you good enough for you. You set yourself up for disaster.
Yeah.
It happens to all of us.
But I'm like bad with it.
I know.
first of all, cringe. But second of all, no, you're wrong. Snooki's basically like a blossoming alcoholic. It's really weird for Jenny to be dismissive of that because Snooki says the three things I'm addicted to are bronzer, boys, and alcohol. And Jenny just goes, you're not though. I don't know. Your friend got arrested for being blackout drunk. That's not a boy problem. That is something else. I mean, maybe I'm an overbearing friend, but if one of my friends comes to me and says like, hey, I'm addicted to alcohol, I'd be concerned about the alcohol, not about the boys. Mike, Vinny, Paulie, and Dina go out to Bamboo that night, and everybody's having a really fun time. Dina, she's one of the guys now. She's not like those other girls. She's one of the guys. She's being a wing woman, but she meets someone who looks kind of familiar.
meet this guy. His name is Dean, and I'm thinking to myself, perfect size, nice teeth, good muscles. This kid's freaking hot.
Right over here to the corner. It looks like Ronnie, man. Yeah. Yo, scared me a little bit. Yeah.
Dean is busy with the dude. We're like, are you kidding me? This guy looks exactly like Ronnie. From afar, from a profile, from everything. He's like Ronnie's twin.
The Rahnnn-look-alike comes back to the house. His name is Dean. I get the feeling that Dean doesn't really care that much about Dina and more just wanted to be on the show and back at the house with the boys, no homo. They decide to bring Dean upstairs to play a little prank on Sammy.
What's up, bro? What's up, man? They know each other. Oh my God. Look at him, bro. He's sleeping. Yo, look at him, bro. Oh, yeah, my girl. Oh, you serious? Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. His girlfriend's name is Sam. Yeah. Oh, that's so crazy. Sam, I'm gonna borrow Ronnie for a little bit, all right?
This is like one of the funniest clips from Jersey Shore, I think, like ever. No need to elaborate. It's so funny. Also, Dean lets slip that his girlfriend is also named Samantha. So, looks like Ronnie has a girlfriend named Samantha, is a cheating scumbag. There's no such thing as a coincidence.
There is no such thing as a coincidence. The fact that you're watching this video means you are energetically aligned with me and this message.
So Dean and Dina are up in the hot tub, and he denies having a girlfriend. I cannot believe the ball is on this man to bold-faced lie about not having a girlfriend to get like less than 15 minutes of fame on Jersey Shore. 1 minute of fame. 30 seconds of fame. It must have been so embarrassing for his girlfriend to be watching that back. Like how Samantha was embarrassed watching Ronnie cheated her on TV too. There's no such thing as a coincidence.
Say it with me. There is no such thing as a coincidence. The fact that you're watching this video means you are energetically aligned with me and this message.
Pour one out for all the Samanthas out there that have been cheated on TV, on reality TV. Dina and Dean end up together back in their bed. Dina says he does not get the golden ticket, but he did get a sneak peek. The next morning, she walks him to the door, and then Sam says,
That kid stayed with you? Mm-hmm. He slept with you?
He cuddled.
I think he's a girl. I've seen his girlfriend like 5 times.
He has a girlfriend?
Yeah.
Really?
Men are pigs.
He kissed last night, so.
Whatever.
Sorry, girlfriend.
I don't know. Dina pisses me off here. Maybe I'm wrong. Like, it's not her fault that he lied to her about having a girlfriend, not having a girlfriend. But if I found out that a guy I hooked up with was cheating on his girlfriend, I wouldn't be like, I'm sorry, girlfriend.
He ate my pussy.
I'd be like, ooh, that's unfortunate. You know what I mean? That night at Karma, everybody goes out to a club and they're all having a good time, and Jenny sees Roger.
We're all drinking, we're all having a good time, and I see Roger again, and I'm just kind of like, let's sit on the couch and break down the last 72 hours. Let's all talk.
So someone I know informed me that you're not dating Heather, and I am going to get a picture of who I thought you were because I swear to God, the resemblance.
I just want to say I apologize for the way that I spoke.
When they get back from the club, Tom calls, and Ron gets on this whole thing where he says Jenny's up in other people's businesses when they're cheating, but now she's the shady cheater. And it's like, yeah, Ron, yeah, Jenny's being scummy and duplicitous, but that doesn't mean that you're therefore not scummy and duplicitous. You both are. Congratulations. I mean, throwing Jenny's character on the bus doesn't reprieve you of any of your previous actions. Fool. Anyway, Jenny and Tom have another thorny phone call.
Any reason why you're being so short?
I think we should just have this conversation tomorrow.
Is my girlfriend there? Or is it
I'm right here.
The bitch that came over her as of recently?
I'm not a bitch, dude. Listen,
yeah,
everything's fine, and I love you, and I'll call you in the morning.
All right.
Is that okay?
Yep.
I love you. So I'm leaving your ass.
The next day, Jenny invites Roger out on a boardwalk date, and the words she's saying come out of her mouth with such ease. But if you listen closely to them, they sound kind of fucked up.
I think I have like those high school feelings for Roger, but you know, I still have reservations because I am a Tom, but it is nice to talk to another guy.
Basically, she's like, I have a crush on another man. And it's nice having another man to talk to while I have a boyfriend. I've known people like Jenny where, you know, she's slowly exiting a relationship, but setting up another one to immediately fall into. It's like there's a certain type of person that cannot be single. And I know like sometimes it just happens to work out that way, but Jenny has a repeat offender attitude about this where she's just chronically in a relationship and cannot, it seems like she can't be alone. And sometimes it's okay to be alone. You know? But Jenny and Dina go on a boardwalk date with Roger and his friend Alex. And it's cute. Seems like cute summer fun. Snooki is asleep until like 5:30 p.m. Jenny wakes her up and they have a conversation. And Jenny gives her some of the worst advice possible when Snooki says she doesn't want to drink anymore.
Everything that just happened, that's like a wake-up call.
I know.
To drink or not to drink.
Take it one day at a time. On Thursday night, want a glass of Pinot. There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh yeah, I think Pinot's okay.
Exactly.
Pregnant people do it.
Exactly.
Like if your friend is telling you that they don't want to drink anymore, you shouldn't be like, well, a drink here and there is fine. What? What? Roger brings a friend named Nick to the shore store to meet Snooki, who is buff and hot, but unfortunately Irish. They all go out on a boardwalk date night. Snooki gets it in with Nick and Nicole. We've got Dina and Dean and Nick and Nicole. She gets it in with him. Roger joins Jenny in the smush room. She says that they didn't sleep together, but like you went on a date, you slept in the same bed as a guy all night. So at that point, it doesn't really matter if you actually had sex with him or not. You know, it doesn't really matter. I feel like Jenny was waiting for this moment to leave Tom. Like she wanted to make sure she had Roger locked in before she started making moves to break up with Tom. But you can tell after that night, a switch has flipped in the way that Jenny interacts with Tom in their last phone call together. Things start getting heated pretty quick. I wonder if Tom saw this breakup coming. I mean, he seemed ready to flip a switch too and yell at her, so obviously tensions were happening, that he was very well aware that Jenny was probably drifting away. It does seem like there's some truth in what Jenny said about Tom throwing her and her luggage down the stairs on the day she left to start filming season 3. If you listen to this interaction, Tom seems to say things that are a little weird, a little suspicious.
Even the day that I was leaving wasn't even good.
Yeah, but you know what?
Yeah, but nothing. So do I take that to heart? Yeah. Because I did nothing wrong up until the day I went for Jersey and you still treated me like.
No, you treat me like.
So they're done. They're broken up. Tom and Jenny are donezo. They are kaput. Over. You know, they've both thrown a lot of allegations at each other. Obviously, Jenny said Tom was controlling, manipulative, physically and emotionally abusive. Tom says that Jenny stabbed him with a knife and he had to go to the hospital. I mean, I haven't seen any proof of that. He says that he's got proof of it, never released it, so I haven't seen any of it. I don't know if I'm going to take his word for it. I mean, they both seem like they were shitty partners. Tom exponentially more, and he is a human piece of garbage from everything I've been able to find out about him. Tom leaves their home in Long Island immediately. Jenny calls her dad, and like, I don't know why her dad can't go get her dogs, but Tom is like leaving her 2 dogs there. Jenny has said that when they were in a relationship, Tom would threaten the dogs a lot to kind of just release them into the streets. If that's true, I wouldn't put it past him to be totally okay with letting her dogs starve to death. So she asked Snooki if she can join her on a drive up to Long Island to check on her dogs and get her dogs to make sure they're okay. They make it inside the house and they see the puppies. They're safe. They're happy. It's funny because I feel like these are the type of dogs that Jenny would have, just like prissy, crusty white dogs. I don't know. It makes sense to me. Snooki goes upstairs to pee.
Really? My bed?
What else did he take?
Tom took the best personal item I could have. My favorite piece of jewelry that I got as a present for graduation.
So obviously Jenny's freaking out now, and she wants to know what else Tom may have messed with. She goes to the computer area, and it appears that Tom has taken a hard drive, a bunch of files from their filing cabinet, and transferred a bunch of money out of a PayPal account that was Jenny's to himself.
I don't even want to look anymore. I don't deserve this. I didn't do anything to him. He kept doing it to me.
And obviously Jenny's breaking down here, so I feel very bad for her. I'm going to go on like a brief update kind of timeline about Tom now because, oh my God, there is so much drama with him. I am like, my mind is blown. So stick with me. It'll be entertaining at least and infuriating at most. I have tried to find out what happened with the stuff that Tom took. So don't hold me to this. I believe Tom gave her back her watch. I don't know if she ever got her money back from him. As for the hard drive, there was some pictures on it from Jenny's childhood with like her mom who was sick, she's kind of a complicated relationship with. There were pictures of Jenny post-plastic surgery on there, naked. They were naked, compromised pictures, right? Tom tried to shop these photos around to sell them. So Jenny took him to arbitration pretty much and was like, no, you can't do that. You can't release and sell. He's trying to sell them. You can't sell naked pictures of me. Tom's lawyer argued, well, he took the pictures, so they belong to him. But a judge put a kibosh on that immediately. He was like, nah, bro, you can't sell naked pics from a hard drive that you stole of your ex-girlfriend. That's crazy. I do believe he eventually destroyed that hard drive, like broke it into a bunch of pieces so Jenny never got the pictures of her mom back. Fucked up. Tom then tried to sue Jenny after their breakup because he said he had been her manager and he had paid for her plastic surgery and was owed dues. As far as I know, this either went nowhere in the courts or it was settled out of court, but the lawsuit in the court went nowhere. I don't know if Jenny paid him off to get him to shut up. I don't know. I don't know what happened there. Then in 2018, Tom just randomly rings up Jenny's publicist and he's like, give me $25,000 or I'm going to leak Jenny's secrets to the media. Now, in the legal field, we call this extortion, and that is illegal. So Tom gets arrested and charged with third-degree extortion. I don't know what came of this. He was never convicted of it, so I don't think it went to trial. I don't know if he got a fine. No one can find any public records of this. So it is likely that the charges were dropped. This was around the time when Jenny is going through a contentious divorce with her husband, Roger. So she said that she believes Roger had reached out to Tom to bring her down together, right? Like, imagine being so salty that 7 years after your breakup, you're willing to collude with the man that your girlfriend left you for to try to bring her down. Like, what a couple of losers. Unfortunately, Tom appears to be quite successful now with like the money stuff with Jenny suing her, trying to sell her naked pictures, trying to extort her. He seems broke, like he was trying to leech off of her, right? But I don't know, at some point in 2019, so a year after the extortion thing, Tom started a seasoning business called SPQR Seasoning. They're based out of New Jersey, and like their big seasoning is everything bagel seasoning. On his Instagram, it says he's the owner of the #1 everything bagel seasoning brand, whatever, on Amazon. I go to Amazon, and it's true. I mean, this SPQR everything bagel seasoning has like 22,000 reviews. It's got a 4.7 rating. They must be selling a fuck ton of this seasoning. And the other stuff sells too. They sell like salt and all that shit. I don't know. It looks like they're doing pretty well. I click on it. I couldn't believe it. It said on my Amazon thing, purchased one time before. So I ran to my fucking seasoning cabinet. I own his seasoning. I couldn't fucking believe it. I own it. I bought it. I bought it because I wanted some and it was like the #1 thing. So I just bought it. I was like, well, it looks good. It's got good ratings. I own Tom's seasoning. I don't know how I feel about that. I was literally like screaming when I found out. I couldn't believe it. I was cracking up. I mean, it's good. I like it. I don't know if I'll buy it again. I don't know if I want to support him. On his Instagram, he bought himself a Maserati a couple years ago, which was like $80,000. He's got a Breitling Chronomat watch on in his most recent reel that he's flexing, which is like, an $8,000 watch. So he appears to be doing good for himself. I guess the lesson is being a piece of shit pays off. Will Jenny move on from Tom to Roger? Will Snooki have any luck with the gentleman of Seaside? Will Dina see the Rahnnn-look-alike again? Now, we shall move on to Ray replies to replies. Yay. This comment is from Bombaz Bussy. I really like that name. They say, now, I love to drink like Amy Winehouse, but Snooki was on a crazy bender, and I kind of wonder what the reason was for the heavy drinking. Maybe it was just the summer turn up and things got a little carried away. That's why I kind of wish they aired the episode of Snooki getting alcohol poisoning, but heavily censored, just to understand it better, because maybe that played a part in her drinking so much during that era. I can believe how much like alcohol and drug abuse they hid during this show. And like they all the showrunners and stuff, like, they had no idea. We didn't know they were doing coke and Mike was addicted to opiates and Snooki was getting alcohol poisoning. That's not true. We didn't know. They're just pleading ignorance, I think, because they knew that the show was so successful because these people were fucking crazy, right? And you couldn't reel them in, but you kind of had to walk a fine line. They didn't want to cover the bad parts of it. They just wanted to show the fun partying parts, right? And I really do think Snooki had a drinking problem. I don't know if she still drinks, but I watched some episodes of Jersey Shore Family Vacation. I mean, she was getting fucking sloshed. So I don't know. I don't like to diagnose people, but I've never drank the way that Snooki drank on Jersey Shore. And I was a party girl, you know what I mean? I had some fun back in my day, but not that bad. So I don't know. I just think it's kind of shitty how much they hid stuff and then acted like they had no idea. Don't fucking lie and get out of here. Thank you for being here. Leave more comments. I appreciate y'all. I think I'm going to be at 500 subs soon, so any can help. And I would love that. I would love to reach 500 subscribers. Well, until next time, though, stay crazy, stay wild. Bye. I had gotten sick, and I thought I was getting better. And then I got sick again, so I sound like shit. I don't know. Maybe I need to take some vitamins or something, some supplements. I don't know what's going on.